Hey guys, welcome to this video. I've noticed that there's a lot of common mistakes that players in the lower tiers of Valorant tend to make, and I wanted to make a quick video to kind of cover some of those that I've picked up on, things that I've been focusing on improving, and hopefully some additional strats that'll take you and your game to the next level and maybe break you out of iron or bronze and up into the silver and gold tiers. You know, me and my group of friends are new to PC gaming somewhat. We played shooters a long time ago, back in like middle school. I played a few, matches of CS, but for the most part, I've been on console, and so jumping into Valorant has been a pretty dramatic shift. There's certainly a lot that I'm still working on as far as aiming and reaction time and snapping to players with a mouse and keyboard as opposed to a controller. There are a few things that you can work on and improve outside of just your skill level that should hopefully elevate your game as a team player and help you win more matches of Valorant and move up the ranks more quickly. Wanted to cover a few things, and hopefully these will help you out. The first one I wanted to cover is abilities and the use of those abilities. One thing that I've noticed that a lot of new players seem to do is spam their abilities at times that aren't necessarily strategic. The character that I noticed this the most with is Sova. He has his spotting bow where you can drop it into an area and it's going to sensor dart people and tell you and your team where the opponents are, and that is valuable information. However, especially when you're attacking, you're pushing up on one side of the site and you just launch that bow into the site, you are immediately giving the other team more valuable information than what you can gain. You know, there's common places where people are going to be camping on the site. Those are the places that you should check first, and you kind of already know that and will learn that as you play enough games. You'll feel the pace of it. But what it tells the enemy team is that, hey, they're pushing B, or hey, they're pushing A. And the other team is then able to rotate their players that may be spread out across the multiple sites, and it puts you and your team at a disadvantage now strategically. Focus on using your abilities. Sova is one I've noticed. Viper's another one with her poison wall. Again, same thing on the attacking side. If you just drop your poison wall down, and that you're gonna, as soon as you're about to push into the site, that is just a blaring alarm to the enemy team that here, we're coming into this site. I wouldn't recommend doing it. You know, once you've kind of pinned down maybe where a couple players are, but you don't know exactly what corner they're in, then drop that arrow in there. You spot them right away, then you or your team can pop out and hopefully shoot them and have a better chance of killing them because you know exactly where they are. The other way to use it would be to drop it in and then immediately use Sova's ultimate, where you shoot your really strong bow that goes through the walls. Again, you're able to gain valuable intel with that spotting bow, but dropping it every time you're pushing a site can be infuriating for your teammates, can really actually hurt you in the long run because you're giving the other team more valuable information than what you gain. The second main tip that I'm focusing on, and this is something that I'm still improving and something that you'll only really get better with over time. There's lots of corners, there's lots of places where you are pushing enemy players or enemy players will be pushing you, and you know, exactly where to put your sight before they clear that corner changes depending on how deep they are in the hallway, how deep you are in the hallway. So having to learn the best places to put your sights is important over time. But make sure that you're focusing on putting your sight in the right place. A lot of times when I'm spectating other players, I see them looking off way too far to one direction, or looking at the wall like the direction that they're listening, instead of putting it right at the corner where the enemy player is about to come out. So focus on where your sight is. Shorten the distance as much as you can between where your sight currently sits and the headshot that you're trying to hit. The further that distance is, the longer it takes you to get there, the more chance there is that the enemy player will have killed you before you can get your sight on point and fire back. Focus on where you're putting that sight and make sure you're aware of where it is at all times, even if, oh, I think I'm safe here. In Valorant, and in CS, you just never know when a player is going to push a corner, when they're slow walking, they can really sneak up on you. Just focus on that. Focus on where your sight is sitting so that you're not caught off guard and that you shorten that time to react to as short as possible. So the third thing that I want to focus on in this video is going to be spike placement. Similar in wording to the second one, but where you plant the spike. So when you are the spike carrier on offense and where you choose to plant it on the site, it matters a lot. There are much easier angles to defend from certain positions on the map. And so I've noticed that there are some common plant places that people kind of learned, tucked in the little corners of the L's that they kind of put some of those boxes at. It makes you feel like, oh, this is a safe place to put the bomb. And it does sometimes obscure its sightline, but it's also a place that a lot of enemy players are going to know where to defuse it at quickly. So focusing on where you plant the spike and how your team can set up to defend it is important. There's a few places where there's an extra angle that you can get further away from the site. If your teammate has an op, or if you're using an operator, you're able to defend the site from quite a bit further back, buys you that extra time, and oftentimes you're able to get the successful deployment and detonation of the spike before the enemy team is able to defuse it. Make sure you are planning where you will putting the spike in a defensible position that your team can group around and hopefully prevent the enemy from capturing it. The fourth one that I want to focus on is communication. Now, when I say communication, I don't always mean voice chat. Now, obviously, plugging in your headset, using your microphone, and communicating via voice with your teammates is the most direct and probably most effective way to communicate with your team. However, not everybody's a social person. You don't always want to talk. Maybe you've lost your voice. Whatever the situation may be, the communication points I want to emphasize here is everything that the game allows you to do outside of voice chat. There is text chat in-game. If you're a dead player and you're spectating one teammate and they're starting to rotate to the other site, drop it in chat. If you're going to push a site quickly at the beginning of the round, drop it in chat. I can't emphasize that enough. Chat with your teammates. Let them know what you're doing, what you're thinking. Playing as a unit and with team cohesion is the best way to get wins in Valorant. So making sure that they're aware of what you're doing and vice versa, be aware of chat so that you're seeing if they're communicating something to you. Use that text chat. The other thing you can do is using the ping system. It can actually communicate quite a bit of information, including when you want to push a doorway, which site you want to plant to, rotating to a different site. If you press and hold the ping button on the map, if you hold caps lock, pull up the map, press and hold the ping, it'll bring up a circle wheel of options, and there's, danger in this area, let's rotate to this site, I'm going here, I'm defending this area, use the communication tools available, even if you choose not to use your headset. So I'd advocate that you use your headset and use your microphone whenever you feel comfortable or you can. You also need to pay attention and use other avenues of communication to make sure you and your team are as in sync as they can be. Number 5, and we touched on this a little bit in the last point, is awareness. And by awareness, I mean following your team, being aware of where they are with the spike when you're attacking, or if they're defending and they've spotted the spike. So often, it seems like players get stuck in a rut of, I like to run out B window, drop down, flank through this doorway, regardless of what their team or the enemy team is doing. So have awareness of where your team is with the spike, what site they're pushing, what site they may be rotating to. That's another thing that I've noticed is that players initially are with their team, they're pushing the site, and the player with the spike, you lose a couple players and he's choosing to rotate to a different site, and the other, your teammates are unaware. Pay attention to the minimap, pay attention to what your teammates are doing, and pay attention to chat and other communication elements to make sure that you're aware of what your team is doing. Also, it means if a player on the enemy team has gone to a certain place and used the operator and gotten several kills every single round of the game, maybe you shouldn't go that way the next time. So having awareness of how the enemy team is playing, places that they're camping in, assimilate all that information and use it in later rounds. Now, good players are going to change their strategy on you. They may be sniping one round, they may be doing something else another round. And so it can be difficult to always use that as the best predictive measure of where the players on the enemy team are going to be. But use the information that you have, pick up patterns where they are, and generally just try and be aware of what your team is doing and what the other team is doing, and try to get any tactical advantage that you can. It may seem obvious, but I've seen a lot of players make weird mistakes where 4 out of 5 teammates rotate to the other side and the 5th one just sits there by himself and then pushes into that site and is like, where's the spike? Why can't we plant here? It gets really frustrating. It creates a lot of contention between the team. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. You may think that your plan is the best, but if the majority of your team is going the other direction, it's always going to be better to be playing as a unit and play with them rather than trying to fight against them and establish your authority in the game. Nobody's in charge. Work it out as a team. Play the best you can as a team together. So that's it today for this video. You know, some of these elements take a little bit more practice than others. Some of it's just going to take a lot of repetition and playing the game. But over time, I think if you can master these kind of 5 main skills, again, just to recap the 5, you've got abilities and the use of those abilities, sight placement, spike placement, communication, and awareness. If you kind of follow those 5 key points, focus every single round on how you can get better at those 5 things, and I think you can see a huge improvement in your game. You don't have to be the best shot, you just have to be a great team player, supplement what your team is doing, and you can come out on top. I hope this was helpful. I hope this information leads to a few more wins, and let me know if you're able to move out of bronze and silver into gold, or if you're stuck in iron and you finally break out of that. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if these tips help you. If there's any other major tips that I missed, please drop those in the comment section below. I'd love for that to be a discussion of everything that you guys are learning about Valorant and how to get better at the game. Just a reminder, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch. I've been playing a lot of Valorant lately, so come by, hang out. Maybe you can give me some tips that'll help me get out of bronze. Like the video, subscribe if you've enjoyed the content, check out some of my other videos, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.